Today we're talking about something that could totally flip the script on digital privacy. It's an idea called the human proxy, and it's all about sending a message by, well, hiding in plain sight.
So let me just start with a question for you. What if you could send a digital message and then, with a straight face, truly deny you ever sent it? I'm not just talking about hiding your location, I mean hiding who you are. And to really get why this is such a big deal, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve.
And that problem? It's something whistleblower Edward Snowden famously called the permanent record. Think about that for a second. The implication is huge. Every single email you send, every chat, every search you make, it's all being recorded. It's saved somewhere. This isn't some dystopian movie plot. This is the world we live in right now. Basically, our entire digital lives have turned into this open book that anyone with the right access can read whenever they want. So that begs the question, right? How can you ever have a genuinely private conversation in a world that literally never forgets? And that is the exact problem that human proxies are designed to tackle. Okay, so what are these human proxies? Let's get into it. To put it simply, a human proxy is basically someone from your contacts list, a friend, who sends an encrypted message for you. But here's the kicker. They have no idea they're even doing it. The network just picks them and uses them as the launchpad for your message. So, to anyone who might be watching the network traffic, it looks like the message came from your friend, not from you. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that just like a regular proxy or a VPN? Well, no, and the difference is absolutely crucial. A VPN hides your location, your IP address. A human proxy hides your actual identity as the sender. Your friend, the person acting as the proxy, can't read the message, they can't see what's going to, and this creates something way more powerful than just anonymity. It creates something called plausible deniability. Okay, so how on earth does this actually work in practice? The source material has this brilliant analogy to explain it, which it calls the inner envelope trick. All right, stick with me here. Let's say you're person A, and you want to send a secret message to person C. First, you write your message and encrypt it. That's your inner envelope. Then, you take that encrypted message and you wrap it inside another message, an outer envelope, and you address that one to your friend person B, who is your human proxy. When B's device gets it, their system automatically opens that outer envelope, finds the inner one, and just forwards it on into the network. So, when person C finally gets the message, all the network data says it came from B. You, the real sender, you're completely out of the picture. And if that wasn't enough, to make this whole thing even more secure, the system also uses what's called an echo protocol. Basically, it just floods the entire network with a ton of random encrypted data. It creates this massive storm of digital noise. So trying to find your one little inner envelope in all of that chaos, it's like trying to find one specific raindrop in the middle of a hurricane. It's pretty much impossible. And all of this leads us to the real powerhouse of this whole idea, the power of plausible deniability. There's this quote from the source that just nails it. Everyone's a proxy, baby. That's the truth. And that really is the core of it, right? In a network like this, literally anyone could be the original sender, and anyone could just be a proxy. There's just no way to know for sure. So what is plausible deniability? It means there is absolutely no provable evidence that connects you to an action. Let's say some adversary manages to intercept and even decrypt the message. They still can't prove it was you who sent it. The only solid link they can trace back leads to your friend, the proxy, not to you. So why is this so important? I mean, think about the real-world uses here. We're talking about protecting whistleblowers who are leaking critical information. We're talking about enabling political dissent under oppressive governments, shielding activists who are trying to organize, or shoot, even just for you and me, having a deeply personal conversation about a sensitive health issue. This kind of protection isn't just a feature. It could be an absolute lifeline. Now, it's really important to understand that this isn't just some small upgrade to the encryption we already have. No, the source material argues this is a massive, fundamental shift in how we even think about cryptography. In fact, the author calls it a Copernican turn. You know, like when Copernicus figured out the Earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around. It completely flipped the central assumption everyone had. That's the scale of the change we're talking about here. So here's the heart of that shift. We've always thought about end-to-end encryption as a straight line, from point A, the sender, to point Z, the receiver. But human proxies completely mess with that equation. The encrypted path an observer sees now looks like it's going from B to Z. That starting point, the origin of the message, it's not a fixed, provable thing anymore.
Let's bring this home with one last example from the source to see how a full two-way conversation would work. So imagine person A wants to talk privately with person C. The problem is, they absolutely cannot risk anyone knowing they're talking to each other. So what does A do? They send their first message using their friend B as a human proxy. If anyone's analyzing the network, all they see is a message going from B to C. Simple as that. A is completely invisible. Okay, now here comes the really clever part. When C wants to reply, they don't send a message back to B. That would be a dead giveaway. Instead, they reply directly to A, but they use their own proxy person D. So now the reply message looks like it's going from D to A. Think about what an observer sees. They see two totally separate and seemingly unrelated conversations. B is talking to C over here, and D is talking to A over there. Meanwhile, A and C are having a full back-and-forth conversation, and there is zero digital evidence linking them together. It's pretty amazing.
And this all leaves us with a really deep and maybe even uncomfortable final question. Because while a technology like this offers incredible life-saving protection for the vulnerable, it also opens up some very complex ethical cans of worms. If you can't prove who sent a message, then who is truly responsible for what it says? It's a question that really forces us to rethink our basic ideas of identity, of proof, and of accountability in this digital world.